So yeah, so it's like factory. I wasn't even all the way on the floor, I promise.
Oh my God, that was pretty intense.
I'll tell you the whole issue with this entire industry, not even GM, it's the performance industry. Everyone's such in a rush to get something out. They do a shitty job. They make sure one thing fits.
Right.
And they send it out the door and they sell 100 of them. And then you get calls because, oh, this wheel, oh, well, our kit don't fit with that wheel. Well, how stupid does that sound?
So this is our first time coming out and actually telling you guys what we got here for the Blackwing. Here it is, 15-inch conversion, man. Yeah. So we're about to break it down here.
Very complicated though. We have a factory knuckle right here. This has already been modified actually,
right?
But not correctly. This is the modified one that we're gonna sell with the kit. This is a factory one. You can see the big differences here. These ears are already cut right here, but this whole side's chopped and this whole side's going to be chopped right here. But then that's not the hard part. The hard part is this is milled because your traditional like 6th gen bracket from like TBM, for example, this is a TBM bracket. You put it in one. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
So if you put this on and put the this in here. I'm not lining nothing up, but you know, I'm just putting the spacing right. The ABS sensor does not work with this because it spaces the hub out. So you have to mill the knuckle to get proper clearance for the ABS sensor so it can still have ABS in the car so none of the lights are on the dash. The problem is with these cars is if you want to be cheap and try to do this, it ain't happening because you throw an ABS light on and the car just...
You can't do nothing.
You don't even want to drive.
You can't do nothing. So you can move it around, but that's it.
Yeah, for less than like 20 mile an hour. So we came up with a solution to do that, you know. But these cars have a electronic e-brake. So, of course, everyone probably wants to keep them. They're $100,000 cars.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
really want to get rid of them.
Yep.
Even if you do unplug them, which we tried to do, there is lights. So, like, you can't, it knows it's not there.
Yeah, they got to stay. So, the e-brake's got to stay. That was something that we kind of, like, were expecting after the Global Beast stuff. We kind of knew, like, hey, probably not going to be able to do an e-brake delete on this thing. You know what I mean?
And stick cars, they come in sticks. So, the guys that want 15 for sticks,
they need it. Yeah, exactly.
We came up with this bracket. You put the bracket on. And
I'm gonna get out the way, so I'm sorry.
There we go. So then you keep your factory caliper for the emergency brake. So this is electric. The cool thing about this, well, this is really thought out actually, the way we do this, is the rotor is so thin from TBM. That's what we're going to use as a TBM rotor and caliper. We make our own hub, but we'll get to that in a second for that. But anyways, this is so thin through here, 375 thousandths to be exact, that the factory pads will not work and clamp.
Right.
So we made a spacer that's going to be included in the kit, this guy, that goes in here. So you got to do is pull these two pins out, slide this guy in behind the pad.
Right.
Put this in, put the two pins back in, and you got your perfect clearance. There's no shimming, there's no measuring, there's no nothing. We did all the hard part.
Right.
So then you bolt your e-brake up to plate we're going to make, and then you bolt the TBM caliper to it as well. Kyle, can you snag that wheel off on that side so we can show them where it's
Yeah, but I will give you guys a little preview here just because we already got this side on. There she goes. So it's kind of dark. The e-brake's in there, TBM's in there. He's gonna take them off and show you. This actually turned out super sick.
We have a lot of time in this. We're trying to figure this out. So now we're over here and you have a visual of what it looks like completed. It's pretty cool how it works, honestly. This is how it's gonna come, and it's gonna come with the rotor, the hub, the knuckle, the caliper, even the brake line we're going to make here.
Ron Miller, of course.
Yep, it's going to be turnkey. Every OEM. The cool thing about this is you're not going to have to shim nothing with the caliper or e-brake caliper. We're going to send torque specs to torque the calipers exactly what they need to be. The hub to the knuckle exactly what they need to be. The OEM hardware to the knuckle. The OEM ones actually work, and a lot of people know if, like in the Camaros, for example, like the kit you get on a 15-inch conversion, they never fit.
Yeah.
I would actually have hardware here for them because they don't fit proper because you have to ground the head down.
Yeah.
So everything OEM works on this thing, which is nice. With that being said, here's the sensor for the temperature for the brakes from the factory. That's the one that goes on the factory knuckle.
Right.
Well, when we machine the factory knuckle, that goes away where you bolt that up because that part gets shaped off. So we're going to send hardware, a bolt and a lock nut to go through your factory arm. Already has a hole there for it, and you bolt it up and it literally bolts right there. So your sensor is still going to work.
Yeah.
So everything OEM, you're not going to have any lights on the dash.
Yep. It looks tight, dude. I'm super stoked. I'm like excited to finish this other side so we can roll this thing around.
Yeah. So one thing though about it is obviously these are all factory arms here. This is not a factory arm. So this arm needs to be replaced if you're doing the whole knuckle and everything. So we're going to sell everything that I just mentioned in a kit plus this arm that we're going to make, by the way.
Yeah.
And billet. So it's going to definitely include that. Now we're going to make an option to have the rest of these arms
billet
added,
right?
In billet. My suggestion to you is if you need 15s on your car, you're going to need these arms because I'm telling you they bend. So we've been down the road, they bend all the time. So even on factory 20s, they'll bend if you hook really good. So this is not going to be a cheap kit whatsoever, but this is really the only way to do it. And we kept a factory knuckle because in case people do want to keep a stock arm, you have the factory bushing in it and stuff.
Yeah.
But
the knuckle, dude, the price would be
if it would have been
retarded.
on a billet,
Price would have been insane.
It would have been unaffordable. So we still have yet to have full pricing yet, but it's definitely going to be more than the C7Z Corvette conversion. And I want to say they're around 2,700.
Yeah.
We're going to be in that ballpark, but it's going to be a little bit more for sure. So, but you're getting really nice brakes, really nice I mean, everything about this is really nice. So, like, if you buy other 15-inch conversions out there,
we buy them, so we know.
So,
look, this is what we're not hating. We just know what sucks, man, and we're trying to eliminate all of that.
pretty much it sucks. There's two main companies out there. The one company completely sucks.
Yeah.
And you can't get parts from them. If you get the kits from them, it doesn't come with hardware. It doesn't come with proper things to do everything. So we're trying to eliminate that process of just having a shitty industry anymore, honestly. Yeah. And so we're going to sell not only 15-inch conversions for these cars, we're going to sell them for the vets, and we're going to sell, actually, I'm probably not going to do them in the vets. LG sells them, and they seem like they do a pretty decent job with the vets. But I will do them for the Camaros and cts-vs, V3s. I'm probably not going to worry about the older style, the Gen 2 Vs, honestly. But another add-on is, I see your arm's getting tired.
It is getting tired. Hold on, let me. A gimbal. Oh, that feels so much better right away.
You better start working out.
We want to do these for more than just these.
6-gen Camaro conversions and cts-v conversions for sure. Also, with that being said, we are going to provide Menser shocks for the Blackwing. Front and rears are coming for this car, and they are only going to be sold through us. You cannot call Menser and buy them. They're only going to be sold through Late Model Performance. So we have a deal with Mark over there. I give him a lot of feedback on shocks and what we do. We're starting to make our own brackets for the shocks now. We're really starting to get into the parts making stuff. Yeah. And this is going to be the start of really kicking off a 15-inch kit. And nobody else has this in the Blackwing market. If someone else does come out with it in the Blackwing market, which I'm sure they will, it's going to not be cheap. And if they do make it cheap, it's not going to be right. This is what I'm explaining to you is 100% the truth, because you still have everything OEM. The knuckle is really well thought out. Everything's still OEM. I mean, you can just literally put the wheel on, the stock wheel on it and be fine.
Yeah, I'll give them a
So,
close up here. You guys can see the back.
There's no unplugged bullshit going on.
Everything's tucked. And I'll even show them the pads, like, just, I mean.
Yeah, you can look at the pad on this. Actually has a spacer in there,
Yeah.
so if you want to show them.
There you go. So here's the clearance with the spacer. Hope you guys can get a somewhat of a view of that. It's a tough spot, but we did have to do some grinding. They cleared the forge lines, but we changed the bracket.
So this is very
This is
green.
yeah.
We made our first bracket. So big shout out to Ashish, by the way. He owns this local shop by us called Carrera. They do what we do. We get along with him great. And he let me use his car for a couple months, and I wouldn't be able to do it without him. I actually almost bought one.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Like, use mine. I'm like, no problem. Him and Scott both at Defects, what we call them, with the blue one. I mean, they're great because we did all the cooling stuff on his, and he lets us use his. So we're very fortunate and lucky to have two people.
Yeah,
let us
two
do
good
stuff
dudes.
on. And he's not in a rush to get the car back, and he's just a good dude. And he's like, do what you need to do. He's like, you can shave the caliper if you need to.
Yeah, we did have to shave it. His wheels fit.
Yeah.
The welds,
won't fit.
yes, but there's a little, with the bracket, there's some
So
tweakage.
we just made a new bracket now that is going to fit. So there will be nothing. You
Yeah,
just slide the wheel on.
Yeah.
We're making sure pretty much every brand wheel fits on here.
Yeah. Because most people know that that's something that you do deal with if you do 15-inch conversions, or anybody that's dealt with wheel fitment on, you know.
I'll tell you the whole issue with this entire industry, not even GM, it's the performance industry. Everyone's such in a rush to get something out. They do a shitty job. They make sure one thing fits.
Right.
And they send it out the door and they sell 100 of them. And then you get calls because, oh, this wheel, oh, well, our kit doesn't fit with that wheel. Well, how stupid does that sound? Because people would send this stuff out the door and not have a Bellic fit on it, not have a Weld fit on it, or a Ford Star fit on it, and all the companies I just mentioned, plus Forge Line, like, we make sure they fit on this wheel.
Yeah.
Now, if you buy some eBay Chinese wheel that is garbage, then I don't know if it's gonna fit. But I'm telling you, all the main brand wheels are gonna fit on this thing.
Yeah.
So we're making sure this thing is A+ 100%. We had one of these made. This it's a two-piece rotor. So
Check that out.
We had this made for a couple different reasons I won't really get into. I don't even know if we're gonna have this yet or not. We might just have the entire TBM set up on it.
Yeah.
But we might make our own for this. I don't know. But so anyways, here's a 15-inch kit for
Yeah. So this is like still in the prototype phase. So if you see this,
these brackets are billet stainless steel right here. And we're not going to sell them as stainless. It's going to be too much money. It's going to be a lot of money if we did it in stainless. It's going to be a steel that's going to be coated, like a nickel coat, so it won't rust. And that's pretty much it. So everything else will look the same, but it won't be a stainless piece. We're doing them out of stainless right this second to see. It's literally over double the money in material that do in stainless, and it's just, we're trying to keep the cost down for everybody. It's already going to be very expensive, and but it's going to be super, super nice. So we're going to send it turnkey with everything. We're probably going to do some kind of a core charge for the factory knuckle. So if you want to keep your factory knuckle, that's fine. You can buy them new from us, like the whole kit, and it's going to be a couple $100 more.
Right.
Unless you want to send your other ones in. So we're trying as best as we can to think of ways to keep costs down.
Yeah, we want to make it accessible to people,
It's
we want to make money, but we want you guys to be able to have it too, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, it's crazy how much material is in today's age, and like, it's just, nice things ain't cheap. I ain't gonna lie.
It's the truth, man.
That's how it is. I have a lot of money in my car, and we did some one-off stuff, and it's
none of it's cheap. It's never cheap.
So,
it's never cheap.
If you're trying to be a cheap ass, don't call me.
Buy the Chinese kit and good luck to you. Buy the Chinese kit and good luck to you.
But we will stand behind our stuff, our product, and everything about it. So we're gonna make sure it's 100% before we even sell it.
Yeah.
By the time we release this video, it's probably not.
Yeah, you guys are about to watch us install it right here. So I'm gonna let Kyle get down to business. Big Dog's gonna go back up front and probably, I don't know, curse to Jared, or unless he's gonna hide out here behind the camera. But We're gonna switch over to this cat right here. He gonna make it happen.
So it's gonna be also an install video. So when you guys order kits, he's gonna put this together in front of us, kind of rig that up.
Yeah.
We'll go over.
He knows what he's doing.
Put everything together in front of you, so you can watch this video and see exactly how it's put together. So.
Exactly. All right, so
Gotta grab a few tools.
yeah, go ahead. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do there, y'all. About to get started here. Got Kyle here.
Yes, sir.
Ready to do the install. It looks excited. I can already tell.
You know, I've done this quite a few times now. So.
Yeah. He's had a couple reps. He's got the tools already. Dude's got his stripes. So let us know what's up, man. What are we doing here?
These are tools I found that will make this job the easiest for you. I mean, if you own one of these cars, you should at least have some of these tools.
Yeah.
Now you need to run out to the store and get them.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need a big impact, like at least a 1/2 inch.
Yeah, you're gonna need the
Preferably-
1/2 inch walk dog.
Preferably Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Because the wall probably.
We don't need the.
goes up.
Yeah, you all probably seen the video.
God
No, we're not doing this.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
A smaller 3/8 for like getting the arms off, because it makes it more handy. 1/4 inch ratchet for the smaller like hardware, like the ABS sensor nuts and bolts and stuff like that.
My man here prefers a flex head.
Whatever. It could be a regular ratchet. You need an 18 millimeter open-ended wrench and a 15 millimeter open-ended wrench for holding the nuts on the control arms. Preferably, if you have a swivel,
You probably don't have this if
you
you're
probably don't have it, but
at
if you
home
do,
mechanic.
please get one of these. It makes your life so much easier. Short 3/8 extension, short or long, it doesn't matter. If you use a short one, you gotta use an extension, but it's for the brake caliper mounting bolts. They're 5/16 hex, so you can use that. 18 millimeter socket. Look at that.
That's bullshit over there.
It's not even. It's a waste of time. Oh.
Damn.
A regular 18 deep socket, and then another thing. It's nice to have if you have it.
Hold on. You got Bob full bolt on and over there.
If you have one of these, it's nice, a flexible 18 socket. And you need blue Loctite, red Loctite for most of the hardware, and then a small pocket screwdriver for what I'm going to show you the first thing to do, the e-brake caliper. And then the variety of 3/8 and 1/2 inch torque wrench for all the
There you
bolts.
go. There you
So
go.
that's how you,
Yeah.
that's what you need to get started.
Okay.
So you got your caliper here. It looks a lot like a miniature like Brembo caliper, like any fixed caliper you've seen with the 2 pins, except it's electric. There's no fluid going to it. So the first thing you're going to do is there's these 2 safety pins right here, and if you take a
Oh yeah, so those are tiny. Yeah, let me
they're
make
tiny.
sure.
There's one there.
We got the
one
blue.
there. I found it easy if you take a small pocket screwdriver. You find the hoop in the head of the pin, and you just get it behind it. It's a little tricky. Pop it. It's just a little tricky to get.
You guys can't see him working that thing out.
Pop it out. There's one right there. Try not to lose these. Well, if you lose them, you're SOL. Pop them out. This will allow you to release the pins. So I found the easiest way to do these, because these clips right here are very strong. If you put your finger on this clip and you push on this end, it allows you to wiggle the clip out. You do the same thing on this side, or if you just take the clip off that way, allows you to take that way.
Oops.
Oops.
Let me move your stuff here. Give you some space.
Yeah, working with a smaller table today.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Yeah, we're gonna give him some space there, folks. We're gonna give him some space, folks.
You got both your pads that just slide in there. There's like a little groove. And what you're gonna do here with this nice spacer that they designed, you can see the gap it fits in perfectly. You drop this in there, just like that, and there's 2 holes in it. Line up with the pins. Take the pins, and you want to find this hole right here. You want to make sure that's facing up when it comes through. So now you
Oh yeah, hold on.
hand
Let me
underneath.
make sure they see this hole right here.
You can slide it in if you need to.
But yeah,
And just push it through.
hold on. Gotta get her lined up. I'm a rookie.
Yeah, and once you get it through, you can twist it. It spins freely. But that's just to make sure you can get your pin back in.
Yep.
Once you get the first pin in, you want to put your clip back in. The long side of the clip faces towards this side of the caliper. So this hooks underneath here, like that. And then this can be a little tricky, just because of the tension on it. So you want to hold the bottom of the pads with your 2 fingers.
Yep.
Hold the bottom of the pads with your 2 fingers because you want to fall down. And then you want to sneak the pin in, just like that. and force it all the way through, and it'll bottom out. You'll feel it bottom out. And then you take your little 2 bobby pins.
You see your holes right there.
Just like that. Bam. And that's the first step.
E-brake calipers ready to go.
You got the proper spacing there for the rotor.
Yep. Then, so another thing I want to say real quick is we're going to show you right now. This already had TBMs on it.
This is the R&D car. So
but we're going to show you what you have to do before you would be putting this on the car. So we're probably going to show you how you would get this TBM on there. But note, we'll have one on here. So just kind of disregard that. We're showing you right now what you're going to be doing before you even start working on the car. This is all the prep work you would do before actually installing it.
Literally remove your old knuckle, throw this knuckle.
Yes, exactly.
This is how you're gonna get the knuckle out of the box. You got the nice fancy knuckle. And what you wanna look for is the side without the ABS. So this side, there's no ABS hole. This side, there's an ABS hole. This side is where the e-brake caliper goes.
Right.
And I'll show you on the brackets, the e-brake caliper mounts are the ones with the fatter nubs on them. So like this side's for the e-brake, this side's for the TBM caliper.
Right.
And the way you look at it is this is facing out towards you.
Right. So let me try to give them a good perspective of what you tell by the machine face too.
Yeah.
That's machine.
So this is facing out towards
like you. This is not machine. This one's machine.
Yep. So this is for the passenger side because the caliper, e-brake caliper is on the front right here. So what you want to do is you want these nubs facing away from you. You want these facing down on the side that is machined for the e-brake. So you want to line it up with those 3 holes right there, like that.
Yeah.
It'll move around because there's nothing holding it. So you kind of have to be gentle with it. Like don't like just stick it there and then try and put because it'll move around. And then what you want to do, I mean, we have 2 hubs here. One's new, one's old. I'm gonna reuse the one that came off the car. This one was more or less for like demonstration. What you want to do is it's the same bolt pattern. You just take the 3 holes right here and you can line them up with the hub. Just gotta wait around and it'll fall in. And I find it easiest to hold it together like a sandwich and then flip it around. And then you could really see here, you see straight through the holes.
Yep.
Make sure they're lined up. And you're gonna take your 3 stock bolts for your wheel bearings. And you're gonna wanna put some red Loctite on these. These get torqued.
Red Loctite.
These get torqued pretty tight. 105 foot-pounds.
How much you putting on there?
Make sure you torque them because the last thing you want is your wheel bearing backing out because that's gonna cause a lot of damage. And I'm probably gonna have to torque this off the screen on a vise because there's really nothing to hold it here for 105 foot-pounds. So if you guys have
I could probably hold it for 105 with the camera in my hand because I'm just like that.
You think so?
Nah. Just playing.
Get your bolt started.
We got giving you a funny look.
And we'll torque these down and come right back to you.
All right. So yeah, he's getting them started. Busting out the torque wrench. Actually, screw it. We could take him in my room and show him what's up. I got a vise up in there.
Oh, one last tool I forgot. 16 millimeter. That's what the bolts are.
Yeah.
No, 15. My bad. 15. 16. Shut up, Bob. It's 16. So the TBM, I'm used to doing TBM kits. You do all the TBM. TBM, the bolts they give you are 16s for the wheel bearings, but the stock ones are 15s.
Okay, so we needed a 15 socket
15 socket.
that we didn't tell you about.
Over in the room in a second.
Yes. We're gonna go to my spot, y'all. Here. We're gonna go. I'm gonna show y'all my house over there where I live. I'm gonna show y'all also. We got an LTI coming together here shortly. Got an assortment of other things, but this is a nice little LTR package that's gonna be going together. So I don't know how much he'll be showing of that, or if we're doing a little video, but a little preview. Got Fuzz. Hey, Fuzz. All right, y'all. So we are over in my playground. Oh, the camera bag up out the way. Oh, yep.
Probably have to open that vise up pretty wide.
Okay, here he comes. Got ZL1 tanks in the making. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They're coming. Don't worry about them. Sometimes we gotta stop and do some other things. Dandy, what is that, Husky?
Classified information.
That's a Husky.
I don't want to.
So he's got to do a couple extra foot-pounds. I'm just playing.
This thing has been calibrated on a Snap-on truck, right?
Okay. All right.
Go ahead and...
Hold on. I'm gonna help you.
There's one.
Let's go slow with it. Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
And number 3. Just like that.
Yep.
Moving on to the next phase of pre-assembly. You're gonna have, these aren't gonna come together. No matter like what kit you get, TBM, any 2-piece rotor.
Yeah, even if we do the hub or whatever you want to call it, either way, it's going to come separately.
So when you get them separate, these bolts are just in hand tight. I'll just show you. Because it's very easy to mess this part up if you just looked at it, because it doesn't look right when you put it on. It's like the total opposite of what you think, where you would put the hat on the rotor. But with the TBM rotors, you got 2 sides. You got the recessed side right here, and then you got the flat side. So the recessed side is the side that this sits on top of. So this is the side that's facing outward towards you when you're looking at the rotor.
Right.
So the easiest way to do it is actually stick the rotor on top of the hub so you can line the holes up.
And do the flat sides up.
Yeah, the flat side is going to be up. So you just want to just line them up, get an idea, and then the best thing to do is don't just like send these bolts in one at a time. You want to get them all hand started first, because you're going to have to adjust it a little bit.
Yeah.
And there will be a bag of these. It's going to be the TBM hardware. It's going to be everything TBM just minus the hat. So
Right.
you can get these, the recessed Allen head bolts. They're 5/32 Allen, and you're going to need red Loctite on these to 18 foot-pounds.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to torque these two.
Yeah, but he's going to start the process. Oh. Let's see how much you get you a
Nice
little
little line
reference.
on there.
Okay, that's a little reference. That's how much
You got to think, these are your brakes now, so you don't want these bolts backing out.
Yeah, come on.
It don't sound like a lot, 18 foot-pounds, but if you have red Loctite on something, it does help a lot. Well, like I said, you start all of them by hand, you'll be fine. So you start a little bit at a time, and if it's not lining up, you just clock it a little bit, and then if you get all of them started all the way down by hand, there's no problem with it. It all lines up.
Cool.
What you got there, big dog?
Some hardware for that temp sensor they give you.
It's high dollar stuff.
Yeah, it's stainless. Hardware real quick, because I'm a hardware fiend.
Yeah, this is a big hardware guy.
We're using lock nuts here, baby. Lock nuts.
Wow.
Dealing with suspension stuff, a lot of vibration.
Wow.
If you don't use this, you're a clown. End the story. We don't get our fucking bolts from fucking Home Depot.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
the variety pack from Harbor Freight at the front desk.
Well,
I mean, those are the best ones.
yeah, I like the Harbor Freight variety packs on like
Even the washers are
suspension
fucking
components.
stainless.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This is a nice setup.
Honestly, even torquing these can be a little tricky, because like it's a circular object and you're trying to torque against
Probably
it.
should have 2 people doing it.
Yes, you might
You
want
want to
to.
demonstrate? I'll demonstrate.
All right, he's gonna get in there.
I'll just be the helper.
Get in there, Tiger.
Make sure I got it at 18 foot-pounds.
This is what I usually do all day. Help. I'm a
Yep.
helper.
So we just picked up this homeless guy off of the streets of Kurttown,
We gave him some free merch.
and he's gonna help us torque these.
Remember, Allen's, you want to be very gentle.
Dude, somebody get this guy.
It's like
We-
torquing a bolt together, converting it back.
You want to do it in a crisscross pattern.
Yeah, star.
Star pattern.
Yes. And I'm gonna say this. I think we're gonna start a GoFundMe for Giles so he can get rid of his 1840s torque wrench and
Look,
get him a
me
nice
and Big
digital
Dog can agree.
snap-on.
We like the fucking clip.
Stuff like this, electric torque wrenches suck.
I
It's
don't
so
like the
easy.
electrics.
It's so easy to over torque.
You know what? I do feel like it is easy to over torque.
Only
with
thing
the
they're good
snap-on
for is
joint.
angle. Like when you need to find an angle, and then I go over them in a circle.
No, over there, my engine area. Clickies. Got the clickies.
He's got all the clickers. All the clickers.
One more time. Remember, these are your brakes now, so you don't want these things loosening up. Got your rotor on here.
Damn. With the Loctite, fellas.
With the
Don't
Loctite.
forget the Loctite.
Look, you gotta
clock it right.
I gotta clock it right. Though. I'm gonna show you what it looks like on there.
Got the set screw on this one.
You even got the hole for your set screw. I don't have that for this car because we couldn't use it with that one, so I kind of just got rid of them. But your car, you're definitely gonna have it for sure.
Yeah.
So you just put that back in when you have it on the car. And now the only thing left to do is to move over to the car.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we got these torqued. We got the wheel bearing torqued.
Got the bracket clocked how it's supposed to be. You got your e-brake caliper set up.
Yep. So that's the first steps, and I guess you would do this on the car?
You could do the caliper on the car.
All right, so we're gonna move on to on the car installing. Let's do it.
The only electrical connectors you gotta deal with on these for taking the knuckle off is this is the e-brake caliper. It's you pop this little clip up with your fingernail, and then you got one big tab here. This unbolts from the knuckle. It's just bolted on. There's no connector for this here. It's like all the way up there. You don't disconnect that. And then there's a 10mm bolt that holds the ABS sensor like this to the knuckle.
Okay,
So
cool.
that's all you take off as far as that goes.
All right.
Now comes the fun part. There's really no like graceful way of doing this, getting this back on, because it's kind of like, it's awkward. So the easiest way I find, have one of your bolts ready to go through an arm. I use the top one. It's the easiest to get to.
Yeah.
So just for reference to, you want the head of the bolt going through this way and the nut on the back side. It's like that for all the arms. I mean, really, it wouldn't do anything if you did it the other way. I just found it easier to get to the bolts that way.
Yeah.
So you want to get it over the axle first. Like, if you don't get it over the axle, you're kind of stuck. You got to pull back off. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. You can normally do it by yourself. If you have somebody nearby to help you, that's fine. But if you're on the ground, you could probably hold it up with your knee. So get the axle at least into the hub first. And then you want to slide this in like
There you
this.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. I've done it a few times now, so.
Yeah. Just
Once you
made it
get that,
easy.
you can kind of chill out for a second and see what you got.
Yeah,
work
see,
with.
he's got it in there. Not perfect, but it's in there. Now you got it floating. You're gonna need to get your other bolts, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw the nut on there just to be safe, just if you're extra cautious.
Throw the nut on there,
Throw the
just to
nut
be
on there.
extra precautious. You know?
And it's weird, you wouldn't think it goes this way, but the factory brake line or hose is the same way. The hose actually goes under the top control arm. It doesn't go over top, it goes under.
Okay. That's important, too.
Yeah.
You don't want to be putting it on top, rubbing through it.
So-
I've seen it happen.
Once you get that through, it's basically just reassembling the 4 other points of connection for the knuckle.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a nest in here right now. We're gonna hopefully get these.
So when you take it off, you'll remember this one, the one with the weird washer on the nut and the 15 head. That one goes down here this way. So this is the hardest one to get in because you're fighting the other arms. So
Yeah.
I like doing that one actually next.
Okay, so
So you're
the
gonna
one
watch
with
me.
the weird washer. Let me.
It's got a weird bevel.
Yeah, it's
washer
kind of
on it.
like jingly. All right,
So you're gonna watch me
Show 'em how it's
struggle doing
done.
this.
show them how it's done.
It might go in easier since it's been taken off once or twice. Sometimes you gotta get the axle started in the splines. Once you pull that in and you get the axle coming through, you have enough play to get it in. And then now it's a struggle. Honestly, if you can get another one started, you might as well do it because you still have play and everything.
Yeah, so hold on. He's gonna start that one over here.
So this one has a tendency to spring up, so you want to force it down while you go through, and then look through the other side and see where you got to move it to get it the rest of the way through. Once you get it through, you just screw your nut back on.
I don't want this thing to be flopping around.
Yeah.
Stay, baby, stay. So we got the top arm, second from the top.
And then just the bottom 2 left.
So the bottom 2 is this guy right here, and the main.
These ones can be a little, like I said, you saw it's a little tricky.
Yeah.
'Cause it's fighting you.
So I'm gonna actually try to get like a lower shot for y'all.
But you kind of want to get this one just past it because it's going to get in your way. And then this one, it's a matter of getting it lined up. So I'm not worried about this arm fighting me.
Okay. We just gotta get this guy in here. Cool.
So now you can kind of, because once you take all the other arms off, this arm drops down because of the tension from the shock. So you kind of want to pick it back up. And as you're doing this, you can guide the knuckle
Yeah.
the rest of the way in.
This is the 2020 vision way of doing it.
It's a little tricky because it's a pinch.
Yeah, no, I was showing him that this got some play, so that wiggle will make it want to do all sorts of things. I already
Once
know.
you get it kind of lined up, you start forcing it up. There you go.
There you go. They just seen that live.
Yep. And don't pull too hard because it will pull right.
Yeah,
it will
yeah.
Pull right back out.
So he's gonna grab the bolts.
Grab the bolts.
You definitely might have to fight this one through a little bit.
Yeah. Hold up. Come on.
Oh, y'all heard fuzz over there? He's right there. I think you can work it through right there. Oh well. Get out of this way. Tapping stuff.
Honestly, now that I remember, it'd probably be more easy or serviceable if you put it through this way. Because if you try and put the bolt through this way, I'll show you. The angle this arm is at, the head of the bolt hits against this. It doesn't want to go through. So
Okay, so this one,
This one
go
you wanna go
towards the front of the
now that I
car.
remember, because it really doesn't make a difference. It ain't gonna change how it tightens down.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna snug them up first with the gun and then torque them. But if you need the torque specs, so you got the upper arm to knuckle, that's 52 foot-pounds. We got the forward upper trailing arm, or just the upper trailing arm, that one's 52 foot-pounds. This lower trailing arm is 52 foot-pounds, and then this pinch bolt here on the lower control arm is 85 foot-pounds.
Okay, so he's going to torque them?
Yeah, snug them up first and then torque them, and get back to you. Down, I can assure you this bolt is going to be like this to try and get it to go in, so you want it to compress so you can get it to line up.
So you probably are going to want to either have a lift or have a way to...
All right, Bob.
What I do, did you already line this up to the factory one?
Yeah.
What I do is mark it. So just like
And then
know
break it
where you're
loose.
at. Now, obviously, if you spin it one time, it's just going to line right back up. Just memorize how many times you spin it. So like, say I make a line here and here, and I spin this thing. You want it loose on both, because once you have these set like fairly even, you want them both to go in and out together. So you'll have this nut loose and this nut loose, and you can spin this bar and say it takes 3 whole turns to get it to line up. You can tighten this down and then spin it back those 3 turns, and it'll pull that back over, and then you're good to go. Then you can lock those down. Just another way to do it.
Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know if he was standing right there. I thought, my bad. But yeah, Bob coming in with the technical. All right, beginner, rookie.
To get this started.
You got some good threads on. So does it need more red Loctite, or is what's on there cool?
It needs more red Loctite. Thanks for saying that. I was so focused on it.
Cameraman here, coming in clutch.
Let me see that red
I know a thing or two. Not really, but I just guess right often. I'll add some extra. Make sure she riding down a little bit.
Well, if our arms should be out by the time these kits release.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd be using this hardware, but this is a 10 mil Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that earlier because I totally forgot that we use aftermarket arms.
Yeah.
Normally, it's the same hardware as these, so like either 15 or 18.
Yeah, but we, like I said, this is still early. Billet arms are coming. We're gonna do the whole set. There's more stuff coming.
Yep.
So this is just the beginning. Just the beginning.
You want to start this by hand first, obviously. This gets torqued down to 74 foot-pounds.
Okay. Let's see. Got a little red Loctite oozing out of there. That's always a good sight.
I know Bob said he's seen them. I've seen those bolts loosen up. They mark them normally when they install them. If you want to, you can mark the red paint marker and make sure they're loosen.
Yeah, on the green car, she likes to really
loosen
vibrate
stuff
and
up.
shake, so we got to mark everything on that thing. Ooh, wowzers. It lives. It lives.
You hear that click? That's a good click.
That's a good click.
Good click. And final suspension bolt is for this sway bar link here. It is a 15 millimeter, and it goes through this way. I'm not going to show people. So I'm going to have to lower it down to get the line back up. But that one, it's not as essential to have it compressed. It's just a sway bar link.
It's coming back down.
Come back down, and it should
Get
line
it
itself
lined
up.
right up. Getting that bolt tightened up. So we're that nice
Couldn't
Matco.
find the torque spec for this one, so I just hand snug this one. Like probably, if I had to guess, probably like 40 foot-pounds.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. It's not a crazy big bolt. It's just like a good on it.
There you go.
Ram.
Tight is tight. All right.
And now we can move on to your brakes.
Yes.
So another weird thing with these cars, just like some other GM cars like Brembos and stuff, they have brake pad wear sensors in the pads. So this car only has them on the passenger side. It did not have it on the driver's side. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna slide that out. I'll show you what it looks like. It's just a little, I have a zip tie right now. It's like a little hockey puck looking thing right here. It's just on a wire, and it goes into the inside brake pad. It slides, there's a little notch in the top. All you do is take a flat head and just pop it out of the brake pad. That's all you have to do. And then you're gonna wanna zip tie it up to the ABS harness, because you're not using that no more.
Okay.
So it won't set no lights or nothing because it's not being used.
Okay.
So then once you get that out of the way, you take your ABS sensor. It goes back in the same spot as the original.
Show
So
'em
hole
that.
right there. I'm gonna grab the 10 millimeter that went there.
We blue Loctite in that?
Yeah, you can. Just be safe. Just a little bit of blue Loctite. And you get your little... No, I mean, I couldn't find a torque spec for this either, but hand tight with a 1/4-inch ratchet should be plenty.
Yeah. So, got some Loctite on there. It's gonna do the rest of the job. Tight is tight. Remember,
I have
fellas.
seen these bolts break, so don't crank on them. They do
Remember,
break.
tight
They're
is
very-
tight. Tight is tight.
Like,
Okay.
you want to choke up on the ratchet when you do this. Just like snug it, like, damn, like
Yeah.
89 pounds.
Listen, like, we get it. Some of you guys lift, like, bro, you don't gotta lay it all out on the line all the time. Like,
Don't take it out on the bolts.
yeah, tight is tight.
They're just bolts.
Tight is tight.
Get your big old axle nut. Now that everything else is torqued on suspension, you can lather this thing up. So you definitely want red Loctite on this one. You're gonna have to send this one home with the impact first before you torque it, because it's like something crazy. I think it's like 200 something. I gotta get the torque spec for this too. It's like 200 something foot-pounds.
Yeah, so we
36 mil impact socket. You don't want to do a chrome socket. It's
No
gonna
chromies.
explode. It's gonna explode in your face if you do that.
look at that blicky right there, son.
You want to hold it to make sure it don't try and twist the whole thing. And then once you get it snugged up, then you can
Save the torquing the axle bolt for
one
last.
that's on the ground, all right?
Because we just tried to do it, and we don't like the way that it feels when you're trying to hold it still. Wow, it's 200 foot-pounds, y'all. So that's
That's a lot.
a lot.
So you're gonna take your freshly assembled rotor, and for you OCD people that want to reuse the rotor hold down bolt, you got it lined up right there. See, it lines up. I don't have that bolt, so it's not really a big deal. If you don't have it and you're tired of it doing this, I'll show you a trick. I'm gonna grab some washers real quick.
I'll tell you, he's gonna put some washers on the lug nut. Put a lug nut on it.
You can put like 4 decent sized washers. Take your lug nut and just tighten it down, hand tight. You don't have to crank on it. Just
If you're not using the
You're
set
not using
bolt,
that. This is, only
this
if
is
you
another
lose it or
solution.
you break, those do break off. I've seen
Yeah,
them break.
they rust. They, you know.
We use TBM hardware for the calipers. There's going to be 2 5/16 Allen socket caps.
So any Loctite on these, or what's
Blue
the deal?
Loctite on these.
Blue Loctite on these.
37 foot-pounds.
37
Not crazy
foot-pounds.
tight.
Blue Loctite. I'm the Loctite police today, folks.
Yep.
Red and blue.
There's an order for the washers they give you. They give you a lock washer and then a standard flat washer. So you go with the lock washer first, then this washer.
Yeah.
And then
It's
you-
usually people. Come on, it makes sense.
It's common sense, man.
Common
It
sense.
just makes sense.
Common sense.
Take your caliper here. It shouldn't be compressed, so it should slide on pretty easy. Just like that.
My man got lucky.
I got lucky. And then you got
Here's his mounts.
your mounts on this side. If you want to peek around here.
Getting the bottom one in.
Getting the bottom one started.
So
And then I'll show you the routing of the line after this, because honestly, you probably want to put the caliper on first before you put the line on, just so you make sure it routes right.
right.
Another bolt. This one you're gonna need your 5/16 Allen. I like using a longer one just so you get a better reach. And then also having a flex head is nice. Snug her up first before you torque it.
Champ.
37 foot-pounds.
37 foot-pounds. Let's do it. Torquing the caliper.
Torquing the calipers.
So next, I'm assuming we're doing the
E-brake.
e-brake. Cool.
But I will show them how the little flexible line goes.
Cool.
Just to make it easy.
Check her out.
That one's
What you got
Wait,
right
what-
there?
Estos 10R80 truck, goddamn it.
Bring that over
With
here.
the Torx kit in it.
It's limited edition 101.
Bitch is bad, son.
Once you get the caliper mounted, normally with TBMs you gotta shim them.
Yeah.
It's an annoying process, but it's worth it at the end because your brakes don't drag. But these are set up to where both calipers, or pads, not calipers, both pads can move freely so they're not dragging. So he did all the spacing for you.
Yeah. Show you guys that. Yep. no drag, baby.
It's in park right now, so that's why it's not really.
But you can see. That's nice, because I know we've spent time shimming these before on
Yeah,
different
and it's
cars.
just like a range. Like some cars you get, it's like one or two,
for sure.
and then other cars you got to stack up like 4 washers. But it routes under the upper arm. There will be a P-clamp in the kit to go to the stock mount to bolt it down here, so it's not just flailing around. And then it goes to a straight to a Earl's fitting. It's a factory hardline adapter to a -3. I'll show you what it looks like off the car. This one's a Fragola, but it's the same deal, same thing. And what it does, takes your factory brake line and then converts you to that. And the nice thing is, it does have the groove like the factory one, so that clip that you pop off, you clip that back on.
So, yeah, that'll be pretty simple.
Where you take your temp sensor. It's be a little tricky because it's a tight spot. But it's easier to do this with the e-brake caliper off, you just have more room. And you take this little bracket right here. You have this little tab on the top. Normally it sits against the knuckle, but you're gonna put it through this way. Put your bolt like that. And then put the bolt through that hole. And go through the back side with your nut.
Trying to show y'all how he has that clock.
It was a lot easier just showing you versus trying to explain how I do it. But
So he's got this bolted up, clocked like this.
it's kind of nice. That little tab sits flat on the top, so I can use that as a reference.
Yeah, so hardware will be supplied. It's got a lock washer. Big Dog was just bragging about it. So I'm assuming you can get this to sit.
You can get it to sit wherever you want in zip tie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a.
You probably, I would, if I were y'all, I would just zip tie it into
Around.
a spot where it can stay stable.
Last piece before, you know.
Throw the wheel on, yeah.
So you got our e-brake caliper, and there's only one way you could put it on. So I mean, it is what it is. The connector faces down, so it's just like this.
Yep.
And you take the 2 factory bolts. They're long, 15 millimeters. Again, it should be open enough to slide back over the rotor.
Yep, flawless.
And then you want to start your bolts.
Do those get blue Loctite?
Really,
Red.
The factory ones didn't have it, so I figured if the factory didn't have it, I mean.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I'm just asking. I told you, I'm the Loctite police.
And you want to get your 15 millimeter. This is where having a flex head ratchet wrench comes in handy.
Try to do your thing, cuz.
Really not much to see back here, but once you get your 2 e-brake caliper bolts mounted up, take the factory connector, you route it the same way. There's the 2 push pin holes right here.
Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all.
It's pretty straightforward.
I'm gonna show y'all from back
Got
here.
the push pin right here, and then the connector faces up, and then you latch it on.
I'm gonna pull out some light.
The light for you.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's the... He's got her tightened down. There's a plug back here.
Like I said, you shouldn't have to mess with any of these push pins. Like these 2 stay together.
Yeah, you should leave
really,
them.
like the only one you're messing with is the one like this.
He's got the plastic cover on this bad boy.
Yeah, I took that off. It's just 4 push pins again, but I just did that because jacking it up and down with the spin jack, I didn't want to mess it up. But you don't have to take it off. You don't.
Yeah. So, time to put the wheel on?
Yeah. I mean, you can show them a little over, just like they compare their install to this install and make sure they got it where
we'll
they
do
need
an overview. I'm gonna do some slow shots, showing y'all. Yeah.
it. Also, the weld center caps suck. I don't care who you are.
You don't like the weld center caps?
Fuck no. Hey, Fuzz, ain't that right?
Yeah, that's fucking
These
right.
things fucking suck, don't they? Go ahead, say something about it. These things fucking suck.
Whatever I say about that, it ain't gonna make it into the video.
Like, come on, dude. Like, give us an O-ring center cap like everybody else.
There is no lights on the dash, folks. This is not a fluke. It's the real deal.
Yeah, well, it's a little harder than you think to have the lights stay off.
Yeah.
So whoever copies the 15-inch kit, good luck.
So,
You will hear, so we use the TBM brakes, and the TBM brakes make a little noise when you're driving down the road, very slight. You'll only hear if the radio's off and like the air conditioning's off and you're not talking to anybody. When you hit the brake, you'll hear the brakes a little bit in the back, but it's kind of race car shit, I ain't gonna lie. So if you don't like it, then don't put 15s on your car.
Yeah.
We're about saving weight, not, I mean, and stopping properly too, but no lights on the dash, no engine light, no brake light, nothing. It drives
Great.
It drives perfect.
It actually still feels pretty good, dude.
No, it's, you can't even tell.
With the skinnies and shit.
You can't tell with the pedal at all. It stops any different. I mean, it stops no different, I should say. So,
yeah, you still got the big fronts too, guys. So.
Yeah, so I'll take you in a, we'll slow down from like 50 pretty fast. I'll slam on the brakes and it still locks them up, so.
Damn.
Yeah, I was already test driving earlier, so. You might want to hold on because it stops quick.
We're at 40.
There's 53, 55.
Oh my gosh. Dude.
So, yeah, so it's like factory. I wasn't even all the way on the floor, I promise.
Oh my god, that was pretty intense.
Yeah.
That was pretty intense, I'm not gonna hold you.
So. And that's like pretty easy stopping, that's not.
Yeah, like if you were doing a little rip.
If you were doing a pull and kind of trying to slow down quick, you know.
Dude, these things are fast, man. Stop.
I wasn't even full throttle, I was just.
These things are fast stock, man.
Yeah.
I really gotta say, like. Yeah, hit it. Oh yeah, this thing rips.
So it's just like, I was just easy on the brakes, I wasn't nothing crazy, but it stops fine.
Yeah.
So, and the pedal does not feel any different at all from stock.
Yeah, no, that first stop was aggressive, and I mean, y'all, I've driven some stuff myself.
I'm trying to get it with that wheel when I'm getting high sport.